Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Welcome back to the Fumble Live. I hope you guys all had a fantastic holiday week and weekend. We've got a lot to break down. We've got a lot to get into. We're going to talk about this John Wall situation. Alex Caruso is out here having me missing him, but I think he's throwing shade at the same time. And is Lamar Jackson playing matchmaker? I can't wait for Chris to break that down. Before we get into all that, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. Give this video a thumbs up. Share it with your friends. And now here's the Fumble Squad. I'm Jackie Ray. You can follow me on all things social media at Jackie Ray TV.
It's your boy Chris. You can find me everywhere at CK2K. Welcome back. Hope you had a good weekend. How was your weekend?
It was not good. I don't know if you saw the Saints.
I already forgot about it. I don't know what you're talking about.
And the Lakers lost in triple overtime. So, it was the only good thing about Thanksgiving Day. I went to a Friendsgiving with some friends. Some people there were Detroit fans, some people there were Cowboy fans, and then I was the only Saints fan. So the only good thing was everybody had already lost before our game, so nobody was talking trash to me. But that's the only good
Even
thing.
though ours was the worst game of the day, but sure, that's nice. That's very nice of them.
It was worst. But they weren't paying attention, so it's fine. I hope everybody else out there had a great turkey day. Let me know what you guys ate. There was no potato salad at my Friendsgiving. There was no banana pudding. There was no pecan pie. Anywho, let's just move on. I felt some type of way about that. But let's get into our first need to know news, because I know you guys have been checking this out. At least I think probably a lot of you have been checking this out. We know the John Wall situation is just kind of weird. He left Washington to come to Houston to play with our bearded one, and the bearded one was like, nah, I want to play with you anymore. I want to start gaining a whole bunch of weight until I force my way out of here. It was a whole weird situation. So now John Wall is in this situation where I'm not really sure where he's at mentally, because I know, again, he wanted to play with James Harden. That is out. And now he's like, okay, I'm here now. I want to be a part of this. I want to be a pivotal role. But it seems like Houston's like, no, we don't really want you to do that, because they seem to want to build, and I get that, they want to build around their younger squad, their number 2 overall pick, Jalen Green, and then, of course, their third-year guard, Kevin Porter Jr. That makes sense to me. But still, I understand where John Wall is coming from. Even though he's 31, I think he has a lot left in the tank. But he apparently met with the general manager, Rafael Stone, and the head coach, Stephen Silas, on Sunday to basically say, look, y'all, I've been sitting around, I've been chilling, but I really want to play, but I want to be a pivotal role. I don't want to come off the bench. I want to be a starter. And that has not... That conversation seems to be falling on deaf ears. It hasn't been moving, so much so that we know that that's not why he's not even had a start up until this point. I think he was hoping for a trade, but I know his contract is crazy. And that's part of the reason why, he's not getting that trade. So now but he's gone back. At least that's a good sign. This is like the opposite of the Ben Simmons situation, where he's like, yo, I want to play. I want to be pivotal. But they're like, okay, we can let you play, but you have to come off the bench. How do you think, first of all, is John Wall right to feel like, no, I should be a starter? This is ridiculous. Is he right to feel that way?
I think I feel differently from a lot of people, because although normally I would be defending John Wall in a situation like this, I don't defend John Wall, because this was all his choice. In the offseason, he had said he wanted to get traded. He knew it was going to be tough to trade him because he didn't really show enough after coming off his injury. Like you mentioned, the contract is rough. So they mutually decided, all right, well, until you trade me, I just won't play. And then now when the Rockets are showing, even though they're not great, they only won 2 or 3 games so far this season, they're fun to watch because of Jalen Green, because of Kevin Porter. They have a young core, and as it's been said, he's been practicing with them, and he's been a big role for Jalen Green in his maturity this season. Now he wants to play. And they're poor Stephen Silas is over there trying to put something together with what he has, and now he's trying to insert himself when he told them that he didn't want to play initially, and now he won't play again. So I get Stephen Silas's standpoint from, look, yeah, you can play, but you got to come off the bench because you made your choice at the beginning. This isn't, to me, similar to Ben Simmons at all, because Ben Simmons, we know his own nightmare that's been going on, the trade, everything going on back and forth, and now he's refusing to play when the team is asking for him to play because they need him to play because they didn't have him beat until the last game. You know what I mean? But in this situation, this team is on the other side of it. They're not competing for a championship. They're trying to rebuild. And I don't know. To me, I feel like from the jump, it made no sense that he thought that he should sit out. I never got that. I had said that. You should have at least played until up your stock so people could want to buy into your contract. I mean, like I've said it, like I would have loved him on the Knicks. It's just that contract. I don't want anything to do with that because I think John Wall is still talented enough. It's just he hasn't showed for a lot of these teams. So, yeah, you can't say one thing and then flip-flop and then try and turn around on the Rockets. I have a hard time giving John Wall the benefit of the doubt on this one.
I'm just, I think sometimes we give that coming off the bench thing a bad name because you can be a Derrick Rose, you can be a Carmelo Anthony. You can still literally get your 30 minutes or 29 minutes coming off the bench and still be a pivotal role. So maybe, and what's it, 2 years, $90 million.
Too much.
You have to play, sir. You just have to because people have to see that you're worth that kind of investment. I'm not saying that he can't get to a place where he can be a starter. I'm saying that if that's your goal, the bench is fine. You can come off the bench and you can. I mean, I think people just give that a bad name. We're in this time now where that second squad really is vital, and as he wants to be pivotal to making sure your team can win. I just don't know. Why do you think he's so hell-bent on, no, I have to start, and he doesn't want to bend from that at all?
The same reason that, Carmelo Anthony years ago was feeling that way. The same reason why any, star player that, eventually understood that it's that time to do it. I still believe John Wall is a starter in this league. I think he has another year or two to be a starter. I don't think he was part of the problem with them being so bad. I think they were just in the inside, the infrastructure from Daryl Morey to Harden and all that was just so far gone that John Wall never really had a fair shot. I think he's still a starter, but to your point, in this instance where this is a rebuilding team, they want to get the most out of their future pieces in Kevin Porter and Jalen Green. Yeah, he's going to have to come off the bench. So I just think he's just not ready to accept that role, but he's not going to get moved until he does. And I doubt that this team's going to buy him out. That's too much money for them to buy him out because they're trying to rebuild. They buy him out. That puts them in a bad spot for the next 2 years. So, I think he's just not ready to accept that he is a bench player. And I don't think he is a bench player either. So it's just he's in such a weird limbo right now. But it would have been avoided if you just started the season off and played. Like, I understand you wanted to trade, but you should have at least been playing until the trade was made. Up your stock. I never understood that from the jump. I didn't understand.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely get his mindset. It's got to be, like, okay, there's two rookies, and you want me to come off the bench to these two rookies? I'm not doing that. Like, I get his mindset, but I also understand exactly what you're saying. The position you're in, bro, you can't. What choice do you have? It's either not give people enough value in you. They can't see you play enough to want to pick you up. I feel bad for John Wall because I definitely think he is a starter. And I understand that that's a hit to your pride when you got some kid taking your spot. But this is what happens when you come off of injury. Sometimes you're in a weird situation, probably leaving Washington, even though it sounded good at the time, probably wasn't your best bet now. Hindsight is 2020, but here we are. So how do you think
that's not John Wall's fault? Because initially it would have been good. It's just he didn't know which James Harden he was going to get.
Hindsight. Right. I said hindsight.
Right. Sorry. My bad. I guess I'm deaf.
Because you remember when it initially happened, I was nay, and I was like, oh yeah, this is the look. But then it was like James Harden was like, nah, I'm about to gain 100 pounds and lose it in 2 weeks. But so it was just it was a weird situation. I feel bad for him because none of this, like you said, is his fault. But you still have to play the hand you're dealt. You still have to figure out a way to get out of this situation. And I feel like he's shooting himself in the foot right now. So wishing you all the best, though, John. I really do like you. And like I said, I still think you're a starter. You're just in a bad situation. But
I don't know how this changes.
Luck.
Like, what comes out of this? What do you think comes out of this? Does he eventually play off the bench? Like, this is such a weird conversation. I was just talking to my homie about this because, like, we forget John Wall's on the team because the Knicks right now are going in a situation where, we got Kemba Walker and Derrick Rose, and we still got a point guard problem. Right. And I'm looking around like, who's the point guard that can play? I'm like, wait, John Wall's not playing. Like, what's going on there? So I don't know what happens here. Like, even if he does come back off the bench and plays, like, what does that result into? Does that all of a sudden make a team want to take a gamble on them? I don't know what team does that. It's just a weird – I feel bad for him. It's a weird situation coming back from two crazy injuries, missing 2 years. Then getting this opportunity and then it getting messed up the way it did, and now he's here. I don't know. I feel bad for John Wall. It's gonna be a fun 30 for 30 when he's retired.
It is. I think you should just play because, Jalen is out right now, I
Agreed.
think, with a hamstring injury. And just
Yeah.
play. You're going to end up, you don't know how that's going to play out. Just play and take everything one foot in front of the other and just figure it out as it comes. But definitely don't shoot yourself in the foot by not playing. But yeah,
Right.
I agree. I think he should be a starter somewhere. But we're definitely going to be keeping an eye on this. But that's all I got for Need to Know news. Chris, can you take us into this Monday's Post Up?
Yes, I got a fun one here today for Post Up on this fine Monday. Starting off with one that I'm sure that got her blood boiling, and it got my blood boiling too when I found out the details of what was going on. I knew it had to be something crazy. I know the internet, when it comes to LeBron James, they look for any reason to then go in on him. I saw all the nicknames, Le Snitch, and all those kind of things, and it was fun at the beginning, but I knew it had to be something, but not quite like this. If you guys remember against the Indiana Pacers, the Los Angeles Lakers, or LeBron James, after making a very clutch bucket, decided to go to the referees and point out two fans, specifically one fan, to the referees and make sure that they got their ass kicked out of the game, which they indeed did. And you saw the famous clip. So if we can get that tweet up while I read the reasoning. And allegedly, I saw a TikTok of a fan that was sitting right behind them who heard everything that she was saying that could pretty much verify everything that this tweet says. Now, this tweet says that a fan sitting close to the couple, the fans sitting close to the couple have said that they kept shouting, "I hope Bronny dies in a car wreck. Don't ever call him a snitch or soft." And that's facts. And yes, I've seen multiple TikToks, and it's not like they're just saying, "I was at the game and I heard." No, they were, the video footage was, one angle was from the side pointing right at the fan, and the other one was right behind and pointing at the fan. So they heard what she was doing, because it was very audible, the different things you're saying, like boo and LeBron sucks and da-da-da. They didn't have that part said, but they both claimed the same thing. So LeBron had a good reason, and I understand that, again, people find any reason to hate on LeBron James, and even after finding this out, people are so damn stubborn. They're like, yeah, but, I mean, you got to take it. It comes with what you do. Like, what?
Right.
What? Nah, man. Like, you could say whatever you want about me, but you gonna say something about my family, I would do the same. Especially when I'm LeBron James. Hell yeah, I'm kicking them out the same way. This ain't my city. I don't play for Indiana. I don't care about you. And even if it was LA and I heard some nonsense like that, I'm kicking them out too. So, Jackie, I know, like I said, I know you felt the type of way hearing about that and then finding out exactly what it was. But I'm sure you felt the same way. You knew LeBron wasn't just kicking some fan out just because his feelings were hurt. You knew it had to be something serious, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've been watching LeBron his whole career, so obviously I've seen him talk trash to fans, and I've seen him, do whatever. He's not been that type of person to try to get fans kicked out unless they start acting like stupid. I mean, even that one guy that was trying to fight him, it wasn't like LeBron tried to get him kicked out. He told that fan off, and then that fan escalated, and he got himself kicked out. But LeBron didn't try to get him kicked out because that's not who he is. And then I did a stand up on this that's going to come out, I think, after the show, but the thing that really pissed me off is people were like, oh, Jordan would just do this, that, and the third. I don't like Michael Jordan. Y'all know this, but I don't think Michael Jordan is the type of father who would let somebody wish death upon his child and not say anything and not do anything. Because remember, back in Jordan's day, that was a day where guys were fighting. So it might have ended a little different. I don't know, but there's no father in this league. And what was the key for me? I thought it was something racist. Like off top, when I saw who it was, I was like, oh, they out here saying something racist. That's immediately where I went. Indiana, exactly. And then I knew it was something bad because Russ came over. I don't know if you guys saw that in the video, but Russ came over and he's talking to the ref like, no, they said I'm not hurt. And I was like, oh no, if Russ is escalated, and LeBron, they said something foul. So I knew it was something. Like I said, I thought it was racist. But even then, LeBron's been playing in this league forever now. He's been in Boston, he's been in Utah, he's been in Philly. Even if they did say something racist, that wasn't his first time hearing it. So I was like, damn, what did they say? But when he pointed at that person, it was like, this person right here. I was like, whatever they said,
he didn't say person. Serious. LeBron did not say person. If you read his lips, he said, I know, but this one. I was like, yeah, LeBron, okay. Yeah.
And then when Russ came over and was like, yeah, because Bob, I mean, Russ is because I've always been in love with Russell, but this is the second time, like, because when
right there for Bron
rolled up, and then Russ was like, what we doing? And I was like,
yeah.
Please, God, send me a Russell Westbrook. Since
and according to one of the TikToks, that I was telling you about, Melo was going back and forth with him too because he thought I was getting disrespectful from some of the others. So LeBron initially wasn't hearing some of the stuff that was said, but Melo was there. So if you see at the end of that clip when the refs were going back and forth, Melo, just like Russell Westbrook, Melo came right next to the ref, making sure he let him know, like, oh, he also said, I heard all this. I heard everything that LeBron's talking about. So like in the TikTok, you can see that Carmelo Anthony was going back and forth with them too, prior to then LeBron James finally being like, I heard it. You're right, Melo. Let's go. So yeah, Melo and Russ got LeBron's back for sure. And like I said, to me, this is 100% warranted. This is only so far. Say whatever you guys say about me. Call me soft. Abbreviate my name into whatever you want. Say I'm not better than this person. I don't care what you say about me. Call me what you want to call me. But the minute you bring my family into it, look, man. And to that degree, look, LeBron, right. I completely agree with LeBron. Yeah, come on.
Once again, Chris, what do I keep saying? These fans courtside ain't it.
You know what? It is so funny because again, oh my goodness, those Atlanta. Never mind. I was trying to think of those fans that also were getting really saucy with LeBron James courtside. Was it Indiana too? But it was Atlanta, right? Was it Atlanta? I thought it was Indiana too. Okay, all right, never mind.
That was in the bubble, right? The lady with the mink coat. Who's still wearing mink?
Right.
Is that
right? Right. Yeah, I know. Right? Confidently too. Yeah, it was Atlanta. Right. All right, never mind. I take it back. I was gonna give Indiana a double punch, but nah, they don't deserve it. Anyways, so yeah, I completely agree with LeBron on that one. I have no problem with this one. So we move over from one great to another, and that is Steph Curry. Steph Curry been wilding out, bro. Like I missed this Steph Curry so much. I know some people are starting to already be over it. I can't be. Look, feel how you want to feel about the Warriors, but Steph Curry is just fun to watch. When he is at this level that we're seeing right now, 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, pick any of those Steph Currys. He is fun to watch. He is fun to watch. And then there's, of course, a little part of me that's just sad because, the whole story about how he could have been Nick. But that's neither here nor there. But this dude has been wilding out. I'm watching him go crazy at home the other night. And then against the Clippers yesterday or the day before. I think it was yesterday, right? He's going absolutely berserk. And then this moment happened, and it made me laugh. But I'm going to let you all watch the video first before I talk about it. So here's
in game 2 and beat them almost single-handedly. He's trying to do the same with 31. He's going psycho. Psycho Steph is a killer. Don't give Steph a T because the opponent will pay for it. You can't make this dude mad. Look at him talking to the crowd.
Yeah. Come on, team me up again. Yeah, so for those who don't know, but prior to that, the refs gave him a T. It was whack. I'm on Steph's side with that. It was a whack T. So then all that did was hurt the Clippers more than it did because you saw two defenders came up on Steph. It was Jackson. I think PG was on the other side. That all that did was piss him off more, and he looked right at the ref. I love it. I love it. Even if he got ejected right there, I would not care. It's still like the point was made. That is, look, I don't care what you say. Call Steph soft. Say he's not about that life. Look, that he looked right at the ref and waited, and still like that was savage. I loved it. I loved every second of that. And he, I thought it was great. I loved that. That was dope.
I did too. And I don't like the Warriors, but it's impossible not to like Steph in this moment in time. First of all, I think across the board, no matter who you're a fan of, we all feel some type of way about these whack refs and these fouls that they calling. So when he teched the ref, I was like, Steph.
Felt that. Yeah.
I did. I was like, give that.
Yeah, for sure. I'm waiting for the tweet to come out today. Steph Curry was fined $10,000 for sending a technical foul to the referee. Come on, I'm waiting for it.
Will be though.
I'm about to say, without these referees, man, if someone's feelings are hurt, and then Steph, sorry, let me stop. Let me stop with the zebras. Anyways, I thought that was dope. Hilarious. Steph Curry is on one right now, and I'm all for it. But moving off of Steph, MVP Curry, at least so far MVP, we're going to Alex Caruso. Now, there's something ironic about this though, and I love Caruso. Caruso's my guy. Seeing him and Lonzo over there flourishing with, DeMar and those boys is great. But something is very ironic about this because he was a big part of a lot of the highlights that he's here talking about. So there's a quote that came out from Alex Caruso. I think this was actually an older quote following their game against the Lakers or a little bit after that. And he says, I didn't realize this when I was on the Lakers, but social media shows all of the Lakers highlights. I didn't realize this until I went to another team. Now, he's right, 100%. It's even, Alex, it's even more annoying when the Lakers are actually doing well. But at the same time, two things. One, a lot of them had to do with you. I don't know if you realize that. I'm sure you got to talk to somebody on your team and realize, yeah, they do show a lot of Laker highlights. But a lot of them had to do with you because anything you did, they had to put on House of Highlights. Look it up, Alex Caruso. A lot of them had to do with you.
Right.
And secondly, the Bulls been just as shown off everywhere on every social media as the Lakers this season, if you ask me. Now, warranted, because the Bulls are one of the best teams in the league right now at playing at at a top level. But anytime my boy Zoe, anytime you, Caruso, anytime DeMar or Levine do anything, that thing gonna be blasted on social media the same way as those Lakers. So it's ironic to me. He's not wrong, but it's also ironic who it's coming from when he says it. It's a funny comment. I thought it was hilarious, but then I'm like, I don't know if Caruso's the one that should be saying this. Like, if we heard, I don't know, who's an ex-Laker that's just, doing home. Like, if Danny Green says something, because, Danny Green highlights all over the place. If Danny Green had said, I'm like, man, I didn't realize how many Lakers. Then I'd be like, yeah, Danny, welcome. But Alex Caruso, you were a big part of it then when you were a Laker, and now you're a big part of now the Bulls highlights being all over the place. So I just thought it was ironic that was coming from Caruso. But but Jack, you said you took that. You did that as shade? I didn't think it was shade. I mean, it's true.
I didn't know what you were talking about, so I just saw. I just briefly look at the rundown so I could because I want to be surprised by everything.
Got it. So you know how to be against the Lakers.
Oh, what is he throwing shade about? But I love Alex Caruso, so even if he was throwing shade, I was probably going to defend him in some type of way anyway because he's my guy. But it's the algorithm, I think, because sometimes 100%. Like if I go in and I'm like the other day I was looking into the Jimmy Butler and the Anthony Edwards confrontation or whatever. And so then I was searching Jimmy Butler, Anthony Edwards. And then for like the next hour, all I got was Heat and, Timberwolves. So I think it just depends on what you're searching. I always get Lakers highlights because I'm always looking for that because it's always blacked out when they play at home. I'm still mad about that. I don't know who I need to talk to about that. But
even on TNT and ESPN, like, I don't get it.
I don't understand that. I don't understand that. Like, it doesn't even make it done gotten so bad now that even my bootleg services is like, girl, they must have gotten in trouble. They're like, we can't show this right now. And I'm like, what? You can see it in 3 days. You can watch it in 3 days. Why am I gonna watch this game in 3 days? Anywho.
Right. When they playing a new game that day.
Right. But I think since Alex was also always used to looking at Lakers stuff, that's just what he's getting. So start looking for more Bulls stuff, Alex, and it'll fix it for you.
And Francisco put it perfectly in the chat. He said, you got to understand, unfortunately, big market teams get the highlights. Small market teams can't make up the marketing dollars. And that's facts, that. And with the Phoenix Suns right now going on the craziest run of this year, 16 in a row. Yeah, 16 wins in a row right now. And you're not seeing no highlights or nothing going on right now. Maybe you'll see a Devin Booker shot here and there, but nobody's talking about it. There's no Bleacher Report talking about 16 in a row, fire emoji. Like, none of that's happening right now. Because, unfortunately, it's the Suns. You know what I mean? Imagine if the Lakers went on that streak, winning or losing. Hell, they didn't even have to make it to 16. If they went to, like, 8, then it'd be all over. If the Knicks did it, it'd be, all over the place. But it's just unfortunate because – again, it's just what's being clicked on. Nobody's clicking like, I wonder how Phoenix is doing. Like, no one's feeling like that right now. So that's just how it is. But yeah, I just found it funny that Caruso is the one saying it when I feel like Caruso's highlights were all over the place when he was a Laker, and now as a Bull is the same thing. But not after all that disrespect you talked about the first part of post up, we got some respect coming. And look, this is gonna be an overload for you, Jackie. So hold tight because it's one of your favorites, and Giannis showing a lot of love to your main favorite, LeBron James. Now, he did a GQ interview where it's I forget what it's called. I watch these all the time. I saw Will Smith do it the other day. But basically, it's like he's like answering questions online. I forgot what the name of the damn series is, but he's making an account. He answers questions online, and he answered a question where it's what's the most badass moment in NBA history on Reddit, and this was his response.
Mm-hmm.
So I have the video, so I'm gonna read it for you right here. We can get the next one. There it is. All right. He said, man, when LeBron was down 3-1 and he was able to get his team together, he was able to lock in and get the job done. It takes a lot from a leader because at that moment you feel so much pressure. When you're down 3-1, most of your teammates are thinking it's over with. I'm about to go to vacation. I'm about to go spend some time with my family. I think he did a great job bringing his team together, try to keep all emotions out of it, and just go and compete the game at the time. Each game at a time, excuse me. It didn't only take a toll physically, but mentally also, because he had to be in the moment. He could not think that would be the last game of the season. And on top of all that, I'm adding to Giannis's answer. It was against the greatest team that we've seen in a long time in the Golden State Warriors, too, for him to do that. It wasn't just any NBA team at that time. That was the hottest team in the league, and he was able to do that. So, yeah, I think that's a lot of respect there, and I think he's very, very right. Like, that's something that I don't think is going to get enough respect because people like to throw hate at LeBron. But coming from Giannis, somebody who does not like to give praise to other NBA athletes, that's huge. I think that was a cool moment. And when I saw this, I was like, oh, man, I know Jackie's heart is melting seeing that Giannis is throwing some love to her man, LeBron. But, yeah, I love Giannis. I don't disagree.
I love Giannis.
Yeah.
So I remember this series. I remember it specifically because I literally almost cried. I was in a room of people when we went down 3-1, and everyone was pointing and laughing at me, and I had to hold it in, but I literally almost cried. I was like, this is not happening. And just that moment in time, and I remember there was a lower third that came up. It was towards the end of the game. I think there was like a minute left, and we knew we were going to go down 3-1, and this lower third came up that said, no team has ever come back from exactly 3-1. And I was like, all right, well, that's that, you know? And then for him to, like, he literally carried the team on his back for like the next 2 games. And then people's mentality was like, oh, damn, well, maybe we can. But it took 2 games of him doing it by himself practically for everyone. And that for me, I mean, the deal was sealed before then, but there's nothing you can tell me about LeBron after that, because I was even like, all right, well, damn, I guess my NBA season is over. You know what I mean? So it was one of those things where I was like, this is incredible. So for Giannis to say that, y'all know I love me some Giannis. And Giannis has transformed into somebody, because I've always thought Giannis was going to be the next greatest, but his mannerisms were just never that. And like in a season, he's transformed into this person. I'm like, that's the Giannis I thought you could be. And then he's saying this too. Giannis is gonna be my guy as soon as LeBron retires. He's not my guy yet, but when LeBron retires, he's gonna be my guy.
That's it. All right, for sure. No, I think that's a fair choice. It's like we forget he's still super young and he's doing all these things in his career right now. So he's definitely going to be there for a while after LeBron eventually retires. Yeah, I felt the same way. I remember that moment in the following game when they won Game 5 or Game 6, where the series was not then 3-2. I remember saying to all my homies, I'm like, man, it would be hilarious if LeBron is the one to do for the first time to come back from a 3-1 lead in the finals. And then it happened. And then, people still trying to find reason to hate. But, yeah, that was crazy. So shout out to Giannis for that one. I think that's a very good point. So now we are going to the football world, and we're going back to the Browns. Now, you thought once Odell was gone that there was going to be all the drama would have been gone when it comes to the Cleveland Browns. Well, it seems like Odell Sr. wasn't the only one that felt a type of way about Mr. Mayfield and how he handles that team in certain situations. Another senior, Kareem Hunt Sr., feels the same way as Odell Sr., except without all the video and all the extraordinary. He's just going to speak it like it is. And he said this on Facebook, saying, I'm getting people on my Facebook. I got to say like an old head. Now I'm getting people on my Facebook saying that I'm being like OBJ daddy, and I'm not stating facts on football. And what we see, he's limping. He's talking about Baker right now. What we see is he's limping. He's scared to throw the ball, and they know he's hurt. They're going to keep listening. But if people don't like what I'm saying, unfriend me. I'm not jeopardizing nothing. I got a right to speak. I ain't posting no videos. I ain't posting no videos. Have a good day. Go Browns. Hopefully. Because, like I said, there was no punctuation, no period, no stop. He went from point to point to point to point. That's why I had to stop to let y'all know. Now he's talking about Baker, because that's what I'm saying. That's Facebook personified, especially when your uncle, your auntie, whoever it is, they just go on a tangent. And he's right. And I know, Jackie, you've been preaching to the choir. I still have a little bit of hope in Baker for that team. I'm taking the bias out of it, but I know you've been saying like, look, OBJ is gone, but the problem with Baker Mayfield and the Browns is not over. But yeah, Kareem Hunt Sr., it feels the type of way. He said like this team is letting this man limp around and hurt us even more when he's obviously not healthy. And on top of him not being healthy, when he is still healthy, he's still a liability. And now when he's not healthy, he's even more of a liability. Get him off the field, bench him until he's right, and then maybe he can be a little bit better. And people are still defending Baker, saying that it's a receiver problem, which is not completely wrong, because I've seen some crazy drops I also feel bad for Jalen Hurts. But that's a completely different game. But yeah, Jackie, I know I don't even have to ask if you agree, but I know you're agreeing with Kareem Hunt Sr. on this one because that game yesterday
was ridiculous. You guys go and check the tapes. I think it was a Weekend Zone, maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Oh, a long time ago for sure.
Me, Chris, and Britt are sitting there, and we're talking about Baker Mayfield. It's his sophomore season, and I'm like, nah, y'all got to start thinking about trading him. And Britt and Chris was like, nah, give him 1 year. And I'm like, why? It's just going to be more of the same. Jack, you got to understand. I understand. I've been watching. I was the one who said it was going to be Kings of the North. I've been watching this whole thing. I know what I'm saying. You need to start trading him. No, give him one more chance. Give him one more chance. Nothing. Okay, but next year, give him one. What's the definition of insanity? And what really pissed me off about last night's game, I don't know if y'all watched it, but I think it was, I
didn't watch it.
I don't know I don't remember who was commentating it. I think it was, I don't remember who it was.
Last night.
But they said, and they said, without OBJ, the field is just shorter because they don't have anybody out there that can take a.
That sounds like Chris Collinsworth. That sounds like Chris Collinsworth. He was out?
Yeah, it was Chris Collinsworth. You're right. It was Chris Collinsworth.
That just sounds like him.
It was Chris Collinsworth. And I'm like, bro, he couldn't even get Odell the ball. Sure, Odell was open, but he couldn't get – what you mean? This is a Baker Mayfield problem. This isn't a – look, y'all, check the tapes. I've been saying this. Stop making them damn commercials. Stop making these commercials, sir.
Yeah. let him make a little money, a little Hulu money, a little whatever the Browns commercials are. Ryan McClain saying, now CK, make your voice a little pitch higher and be like, nice power, Venus Williams. Like trying to tell me I got to be like Will Smith. I finally saw King Richard, by the way. Fire.
Oh, isn't it
fantastic? Fire. Will Smith, fire. Transform. It was great. Fire. We could talk about it another day. And look, man, all I could think too while watching that, just my love, and I've been there from the jump. My love for LeVar Ball just went out through the roof again because I'm just like, see? And they call that man crazy. And this was the OG. They were calling this man crazy from in his neighborhood. And I'm telling you, man, King Richard. I'm telling you, man.
If we have time at the end of the show, Chris, I don't know. Y'all let us know in the chat. I would love to hear you do this whole thing again in an accent. Because that accent had me dying in the uncle, old man uncle accent.
Yeah, okay, you don't understand. I see all those all the time.
Thinks it should happen.
Nah, I'm not doing it again. It's so look, I get it, but it's so hard to read. Look, there's not a single period or anywhere. Like it's just one full sentence, and you'd even end it with the period. Like I got aunties and uncles who are saying that. That's why I don't use Facebook, man. Now we're wrapping up this post. So I got one more for you guys because this one's pretty dope. I love this. Now we know last night's game was actually it was Ravens and Browns, right? So it's funny how we went from talking about Baker Mayfield to the other quarterback, Lamar Jackson, who's out here being an MVP in another way. This is dope. Full respect. This is the type of thing. If I had fame, I would do. Like I wouldn't read a lot of DMs. If I saw someone ask me something like this, I'd be a homie for sure. So my man DM'd Lamar Jackson, and he asked him, can I tell this girl that you my cousin so she let me hit? Lamar Jackson liked the response, and he responded by saying, for sure, cuz, strap it up. And he said, much love, bro. Now, we don't know what the result was. Like, did it work? Like, are they in a relationship now? Did he get what he needed and he bounced? That's the part. I need a part 2 of this, so hopefully I can look it up and then we can get an answer sometime this week on Post Up. But Lamar Jackson, man, this dude is having a great season. He's literally the definition of Captain Save-A-Ho in different instances, whether it is for this dude right here trying to get a girl and for the Baltimore Ravens every time they down Lamar Jackson, the reason why they back in these damn games. So, yeah, this is just the irony on this was just hilarious. But, yeah, I need an update. I need to know how it went for my guy.
Number one, Chris, I don't know if you heard last night, Mike Tirico was like, Lamar has thrown 4 interceptions. Should they take him out? And Chris Collinsworth was like, no. If Michael Jordan is missing a bunch of shots, you let him keep shooting. You don't let your best play. I was like, okay, Chris, I feel you on that one. Number 2, this guy ain't getting no booty. And you know why? Because it was definitely him that screenshotted this and put it out there. So now she already know he not your real cousin. And number 2, you have to go to Lamar Jackson to get some? You got no play, sir. He's not getting no booty. Trust me when I tell you that.
Here's the thing. Hold on. We don't know how dude looks. We don't know if he look like he might be one of those guys that gets those like, man, you kind of look like Lamar kind of thing. So he probably used that to his advantage to try to help. And this possibly went viral after the fact. So he's probably not going to get any more action from her. But this probably went viral after the fact. So come on, man. Don't knock the player, man. Let him get his.
Look, I cannot wait for old girl to post some tweet and be like, look, he came at me with some okie doke talking about Lamar's my cousin. And I was like, and I didn't give him no booty anyway. I'm telling you, that's the next tweet we're about to see.
Look, regardless if it went bad or good, I need an update. I need to know how it went. So Jackie's thinking that did not work. And I don't know. I think he might have got lucky. He probably then also got his car keyed the next day when this thing went viral. But you probably, we'll see how it goes. I need an update. I need an update. If you guys in the chat find an update or whatever, please DM myself and Jackie Ray on IG with the link saying like, yo, or wherever we can find it so we can find it because I need an update on this one. But anyways, Jackie Ray, I guess.
Like, no. No.
Well, you gave us an early what we not gonna do, and that is go to somebody and DM them trying to get some help. But Jackie, can you tell us what else we not gonna do on this fine Monday?
Yes. Let's get into what we not gonna do because y'all, I'm an English major, so sometimes the math escapes me. But I'm telling you, in this one, the math just don't make sense at all. And we're gonna break this one down because this one's about Ben Simmons. And first of all, I hate when people say a source tells me. If you're not going to name the source, at least tell me how they're affiliated with the person that you are talking about, because otherwise I just think you're talking outside of your neck and I don't believe you. But so let me just break down the amount of money that Ben Simmons has made. Ben Simmons has made a ton of money. He got the third highest contract as a rookie. I think he made like $12 million his rookie year that took him through 2019. And then in that year, he signed let me get this number right, because then he signed a 5-year, $360 bonus contract for 5 years, all of which that money was guaranteed. So on top of that, he also, his rookie year, signed $20 million deal with Nike that with incentives and other things could end up being $40 million. That's a ton of money. So we're talking about $12 million, $20 million. Like, even if you leave out that contract that he signed, that he obviously isn't earning. He's not earning any of the, I think, $33 million that he's set to earn this year because he's not playing. But $12 million alone, I would have invested. I would have bought real estate property. I would have at least a sixplex. People paying me rent right now, my money would be growing. I would do that right. But, I understand that sometimes, especially a rookie coming into that situation, you don't think like that. But there's this radio station in Philly. It's called WIP. There's this gentleman on that hosts a show. His name is Howard Eskin. Now, before I get into this, I want to show you just this sports track. So this, how you go to sports track and just figure out, who's making what money and all that. I thought this was so funny because where it says active personnel, it says Simmons is not expected to play for the 76ers in the foreseeable future. So they've literally taken off any money that he's going to make. So if you go to Sports Track right now, it's like he's not making any money this year.
What?
Which is insane because that's $33 million. Sir, and now you're talking about, I emotionally can't play, blah, 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 blah. Well, this gentleman, again, by the name of Howard Eskin, he says that is not going to be the case very much longer because Ben Simmons is going broke. I just told you all the money this man is making. He says Ben Simmons is going broke. So I know y'all probably can't read all that, but let me break this down. I have to read this to you because this is insane to me. And at first I was like, hell no, you tripping. But then I was like, maybe he's not, because this wouldn't be the first time. So it says, I was told by somebody very reliable he may be tapped out and broke. His cash flow is broke because he's losing so much money, but he spent so much money. $17.5 million home. Remember, he has to pay taxes on that. And then he's got homes in the Philadelphia area, probably worth $8 or $9 million. He buys a new car every month. That's worth $400,000 or $500,000. He just spends money like it's nothing because he thinks it's never going to end. And the person told me this is very reliable. He says, remember the trips he doesn't pay for. Remember this trip, he doesn't pay for any games, and that's $2 million. So he may come back but he does because he's broke. He's going broke. So here's a couple things. I'm like, that's first of all, he wouldn't be the first. Let me say that. He wouldn't be the first. I mean, Allen Iverson. Thank God whoever set that money up. So he's not even going to get, I think it's like something like 50 million or whatever that he's going to get when he turns 50 or something like that. Or if he already did, I don't know. I don't know how old Allen is. But that person saw in Allen that this is not a person who knows how to manage his money. So let me set him up for when he's older, because I know he's going to go broke in the meantime. Because I don't know if you remember, there was one point where Allen said he only had like $800 a month left to his name after he paid all this money. 8,000 of that went to like food or something like that. So there are people that spend stupid money. In my head, I didn't see Ben Simmons being that type of person. But if you are getting a new car every month, first of all, you could lease a car. You know what I mean? And you could set up something where you can lease it, just pay some sort of regular payments and trade that out as you want. You could set up some side. You could get a sponsorship where you sponsoring Mercedes or something like that. You could do something so you're not having to pay that out of pocket. The property tax on a $17 million home, depending on where it's at, roughly would probably be around $750,000, right? So that's almost $1 million in property taxes you're having to pay on top of your mortgage. Plus you own another 2 homes in Philly. You could be running out of money depending on how you manage your other money. And if you just spending it like this, spending money on cars every month is an indication to me that you're not good with money, because a car is the worst investment you can make unless your last name is Ball and you're deciding to rent out that car. So that's the only way that works in your favor. I don't know if this is true, but if Ben Simmons all of a sudden comes back, if all of a sudden he wakes up and says, my mental issues have been cured, I'm going to believe this is true. Because how do you make that kind of turnaround that quickly? And how did you not know that you were going to be losing $33 million by sitting out this year? I thought he was going to do it. I thought he was going to sit out the whole year because of all the money that he's made before. This would be terrible if that he ends up being this statistic of players that go broke. But what we're not going to do, Ben Simmons, is even if you do come back, if this is how you're managing your money, we're not going to do that anymore. We're going to get a financial advisor that we trust, and we are going to get somebody to help us invest our money. We're not going to get new cars every month unless we're renting them out. We're not going to have all these homes that we have to pay $100 million in property taxes, not the mortgage, property taxes. We're not going to do that. We're going to start managing our money better so we can invest in our future, because clearly you've got issues and you might need further mental help when you retire. We're going to start doing better with our money. I don't know if I 100% believe this, like I said, Chris, but if he comes back spontaneously, I probably will buy into this. But what do you think? Do you think this is true?
Oh, man. I think he's definitely going broke because he's losing a lot of money per game he's missing. But to this extent where it's like he needs to desperately come back to make some money. This is all we're talking about, all from the money he's making from this season. We don't know the entire story from all the money he's made before this season. We don't know what he said. Right. We don't know, like you mentioned, we don't know the kind of people that are around him that were helping him manage his money. Even though he's spending, we don't know how much of that was from endorsements we don't know about. Like, we know the Nike endorsement and all that kind of stuff. But you might have these little ticky-tack local endorsements in Australia that we don't know about that he's making some chump of change from. So, I don't think he's going broke like that, like, AI Wesley Snipes status, but he's going broke for sure because he ain't making money from this damn contract this year. So, but
Wesley Snipes broke because he wasn't paying the government, and the government came and got all their money back. So let's be clear about that. So
okay, all right, sorry, you're right. That was an unnecessary shot. All right, my fault. But but I don't know. I'm like you. I'm a little.
If he's not paying property taxes, it's gonna be the same thing. So.
The same thing. Look, I'm like you. I'm skeptical on it. There might be some truth behind it, but I find it hard to believe. I can't believe that he's going completely broke. I think he's just trying to find something. This might be planted by Daryl Morey to do something to try to get him to play some minutes. I don't know.
I don't either. But Gary Tobro in the chat says he believes it. Doug says I kind of believe it because he came back the first time to avoid the fines.
Yeah, because you don't want to lose your money. But that doesn't have to mean that you're broke. That just means that you ain't trying to lose all that money. You're losing a lot of money. I mean, he just might be slower than most, where he realized how much money he's actually going to lose. But that's a lot of money. Like, you know, I'm not saying that I'm broke like that and Jackie's broke like that, but if we said it, like if that's affecting our money, we gonna make sure we're there so we can make sure we get our money, regardless of how we feeling in this, that, and the third. You gotta do what you gotta do to make sure you get their money, whether you broke or not. That's a lot of money that he's leaving on the table. So I don't know if that entirely has to do with him going broke like that. I don't think so.
Yeah, I wouldn't leave this money on the table. $33 million. I would
come
go
on
home
now.
and I would just cuss everybody out in my own home, in the privacy of my own home. But I'm gonna get that $33 million. I'm not gonna leave that on the table. That's crazy to me. But Ben Simmons, get it together. I don't know if I believe this. I see some of y'all in the chat do believe it. I don't know. But you guys, I see some of you guys in the chat asking about our handles. You can follow Chris at CK2K. You can follow me at Jackie Ray TV. We will be back here tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We have some more content coming out later in the day. So make sure you hit that notification bell. We will see you tomorrow morning on Taco Tuesday. You guys be safe. Enjoy them leftovers if you still got them.
Oh.
Bye.
Bye.